I can say. So, welcome to the online JCI European Conference. I'm Claudia, together with Michelle. We are part of the Skills Development Committee. And today we'll continue day number 5 of this conference. Now I have the honor to introduce Manuela from European Development Council. Today, give you an overview of JC. She will tell us more about the structure, the key activities, and many more. So, Manuela, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Claudia. And thanks also a lot, Michelle, you both for organizing this session and that I'm able to provide you with a few information about JCI. And also welcome from my side to all you participants. I'm happy that you're here. And before I like to bump you with lots of input about JCI, I would like to ask you a few questions so that I know a little bit more about you. So it would be fantastic if you just use your whatever laptop or mobile phone, click on menti.com with that pin and just answer the 2 questions that I've prepared for you. And I will show the results immediately. I hope you still see this. Wow, 2010 United States. So we have first results on the first question. You can also see here, so you go on that website, use that pin, and then you can enter your information from which country you are and since when you are a member of JCI. Okay, has everyone answered already the first question? So right now we have members from Malta, from UK, from Romania, United States, HQ, and USA, yes. And the membership since 2017. The oldest one is 2010, so it's a 10 years jubilee. Congratulations.
Excuse me, but I can't find the code. 810171.
This code over there, 8101 and 70. And then we can, when you're done with the first question, I have another one. So I'm moving to the next question, just to know where you want to set the focus of the sessions, to see what are you interested most. So just click on, you can choose several options to give a bit of feedback. You can always use the chat if you have anything else not mentioned yet here, to add this there as well. Okay. Good. Then thanks for your feedback. Good to know that. So then we will start with the content, and I try to set the proper focuses as well to what you gave me as feedback. So when we do the session today, I have structured it into 3 blocks. So we will first go through the JCI structure. Then we will have a look at the experience, how you can experience JCI. And at the end, we will shortly go over the campaigns that the international campaigns that are running at the moment. So first, just a few facts and figures. It has been founded in 1915. We have about 152,000 members worldwide, 4,650 chapters, 4 areas. Right now, we are participants from Europe. I saw also United States, America, and when I see your name additional, you have also a few members or participants of Africa and the Middle East area in this session. Maybe just a short question on your side. What do you think, how many members from those 152,000 are in Europe members? You can just put it in the chat and just add a guess here. I will answer it then. And we have this year as president, oh yeah, the membership fee is $13. And the president this year is Itai Manier from Zimbabwe, and our JCI Europe chair, official title is JCI European Executive Vice President, is Marion de Vroot from the Netherlands. The slogan, which has been changed last year, is Developing Leaders for a Changing World. We use this also as a hashtag. And this shall show what is one of the main goals of JCI. So like using elevator pitch, what is JCI doing? What is JCI about? Then you can say, we are developing leaders for a changing world. This is one of the key things, goals that we want to do. And obviously I have a problem to see the chat, so I can't see the answer from your side, but just to let you know, it's about 23,000 members that we have in Europe. So yeah, a bit of a quarter are members in Europe. Then let's go to the JCI Europe, JCI structure in general. So we have the level of the national president. So these are the representatives of each national organization. In Europe, it is 34 national organizations. Worldwide, it's a bit more, of course. It's more than 100. And those national presidents, they elect the vice presidents, in total 17, 5 in Europe and 4 in each other area. And the national presidents also elect the executive vice presidents, which is the next level. We have 4 for each area, and they elect the JCI World President. The JCI World President appoints then the treasurer and the general legal counsel, so the one that is dealing with the legal stuff, and the immediate past president, that's automatically the president of the last year, and he's also the Senate chairman of JCI Senate. I will mention that a bit later as well. And those people that are marked in blue, they are the so-called executive committee. So like in a company, they are the management board. It's also abbreviated as Excom. And all of them, those people in blue and people in green, they are the so-called board of directors. So they are all coming together, meeting together to see what are the plans for the next year, how to align everyone's task for aligning the goals of the year. And yeah, also in case of any discussion about, for example, supporting new members, new national organizations, and things like that. Here I see just a chat. Fantastic. So maybe as another information as well for the structure, a JCI vice president is assigned to an area, and a JCI vice president is also assigned to a certain number of countries for which they are responsible. So they're like the communicators in between the national organizations and the so-called Excom. And then there are the appointees. So these are the committees. So following the next slide, you see the list of appointees which we have this year. So we have a partnerships committee, a strategic plan implementation committee, a skills development committee, growth development committee, digital transformation committee, etc. So those committees, or the people that are the members that are appointed, so-called appointees, they support the board of directors, the Excom, with their work to reach the plan of action and to reach what is planned for the year. So for example, right now we have a training session which is organized by the Skills and Development Committee. So we have Michelle as the chairperson, and she has members from every area that are supporting with content on that area, and also vice versa, transporting information further to the national organizations and the members of that area. The appointees or the committees, they can change every year. So it really depends on the strategic plan, which I will introduce you later, and also the plan of action. So what the president wants to reach in that year and what areas he needs or she needs support. We also have in Europe, additionally, appointees and committees. So we have the Equality and Diversity Committee. Last year, we decided that it is very important to work on that topic, which is one of the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. So there was a committee founded. Then also we thought in Europe that we need someone else for the partnerships, additionally to the partnership committee, the work that is done here. And also the JCI Europe Sustainability Committee has been founded to look after the organization events and to see where we can reduce, for example, carbon footprint. I'll go through that. You can always ask questions in the chat. So if you want to have further information, deeper information, then just put that in the chat box and we will go over that later. So referring to JCI Europe structure, I will now show you the JCI Europe structure, which has also a few specific structural issues. So we have our executive vice president for Europe, Marion, and she is the boss, to say like that, for Europe. Then you have the elected vice presidents, the 5 for Europe. Then you have the European Development Council. So those people, the executive vice presidents, they are elected through the General Assembly. So these are all the members, all the national organizations that JCI has worldwide, and they elect the vice presidents and the executive vice president. The European Development Chair, a council chair, the treasurer, and since this year we also have the position of a general legal counsel for Europe. These 3, they are elected at the World Congress at the area national presidents meeting. So when the European presidents meet, the European presidents, they elect the European Development Council chair, the treasurer, and the GLC. And they also elect the EDC councillors, the 6 ones. Then we have the JCI Europe area director. He is a member of the headquarters, so he's an employee. He's not elected at all, and he continues to work over 1 year. And yeah, so I'll add this right after that. And then we have the positions of the assistants. So these assistants, they are assigned by the chairs. So the one assistant to the executive vice president is appointed by the executive vice president. And also the EDC chairperson can appoint one member to be assistant for the European Development Council. And those assistants, believe me, they are really important to have them. For example, when you do the General Assembly, then it's very helpful to have an assistant writing notes, for example, or supporting technology-wise. And in Europe, as far as I know, the only area of JCI, we also have a legal entity. So it's the organization based in Germany. And therefore, we have not only the JCI board, which is mainly those people, and the EDC chair, of course, for the EDC topics. We also have the JCI Europe board for the legal entity. And those people that are marked here, they are all part of the legal entity of JCI Europe. So that's why it's marked like this here. And here again, the 3 committees that we have for Europe. A little bit information about the European Development Council. What is the European Council for? There is a specific purpose. And the main reason is that we want to grow the presence of JCI Europe in all the European countries. So one of the goals is to establish JCI organizations in countries where we don't have JCI yet, so to support this. Then it's also about supporting, so when you start a national organization, so you start from the scratch, and then you have the various steps you can do as a national organization. One is the status to be a potential national organization, so you have a few members now, and are a potential national organization. You have more members and more local organizations, so you have a provisional status. And so the European Development Council is supporting, together with the Vice President, in those statuses as well. And in general, the purposes of the European Development Council to support the growth and development of national organizations. So whenever you have any issues in getting members, in retaining members, then you can ask for support from the vice presidents, and they will very often refer or go directly to the European Development Council, and they will support you with all those issues. And as you see, it's all happened in coordination with the JCI Executive Vice President, so the JCI Europe Chair, or the Area Director. And now I'd like to show you the people that are this year responsible for JCI Europe. So you see all those faces. Our Europe Chair this year, Marianne de Groot, she's responsible for all the national organizations of JCI Europe this year. Then we have the 5 vice presidents, Jenny, Elimaya, Paolo, Anna, and Mark. You see on the flags where they come from, and also for which countries they are responsible. You can get more information about them at the beginning of the year. We have published information about them on our JCI Europe Facebook page. So when you want to know more about them, then you can just watch the pictures there, the Facebook post. Natasha Job is this year our European Development Council chairperson from Denmark. And she's also, since at the online conference assembly, it was decided to add the position of a European General Legal Counsel, the European Council for this year. Laurie from Finland, he's the treasurer. So he is the one, doing the finance of JCI Europe. So all the national organizations have to pay their dues, and we have to work with the budget, and we want to work with the budget, for example, to further support your national activities. Lutz Kohn is the area director. So he is the one supporting all the volunteer work, and Stephanie van der Smaan is this year the assistant for Mariam. Then probably a bit interesting, also the structure of the European Development Council. So we have the 6 councillors here, and you see that they have different focus. We call it portfolio. Those 6. So we have 2 that are responsible for intensive support. So for example, here they support with the mentoring program for national and local organizations. Then we have 1 this year, Dražen. He is supporting new organizations. So that means to, for example, build up new organizations in countries where not JCI is present, and also to especially support potential professional organizations in that case. Ruth is responsible for skills boosting, so how to set up trainings, for example. So she has created the program also for the regional growth and development academies that had been planned to take part in person. So that's her duties. Then 1, Hans-Peter this year, is supporting with a local and national collaboration. So whenever it's needed to support in the local organizations, etc., then he is the one. And I'm this year in the responsible for impact and promotion. You can also call it kind of marketing. So I'm doing the JCI Europe Facebook page, for example. And we're also very happy that we have an executive assistant. This is Jonas from Denmark, and he supports our work this year in the European Development Council. So this is an overview of the structure of JCI Europe and of JCI. And then I would like to show you what are our vision and mission. So what do we want to achieve and what do we want to support to? So the vision is to be the leading global network of active young citizens. And our mission is to provide development opportunities that empower young people to create positive change. I will not go too deeply into those because there is a training, the JCI Discover course, where you can really go deep into and see all the parts. Just to be sure, we want to be the leading global network, which means we want to be the biggest one of young people, of young active citizens. But we also want to be the ones that drive the relevant, the most important topics. So we're also leading in regard of the topics that we are doing that are around the topics of our time. And for all our members, it is important, or when you join JCI, then it also means that we share the same values. And our values, the values of the organization, they are written down in its so-called JCI Creed, which is also stated at all the conferences, for example, because they show our values. So we believe that faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life, that the brotherhood of man transcends the sovereignty of nations, that economic justice can best be won by free men through free enterprise, that government should be of laws rather than of man, that Earth's great treasure lies in human personality, and that service to humanity is the best work of life. And also here, I don't want to go too deeply into that, because it's also part of the training course JCI Discover, where we really can discuss and go deeply into the meanings of each of the values. But I think they are really important that you know them and that you also think about them and what that means to you. So I would say we just have a short break with that session. I saw that there are some questions. So I just need to find the chat again. So when you have questions, I would like to give you the answer on those questions. So I think I need a bit help with the questions if there are some. I just
the question I will send you right now with the message, okay? With the question.
Then while I'm checking and waiting for the your questions, we can just cover the time because I have 2 more questions for you. What I would like to know about you. So I'd be happy if you go on menti.com again and enter this pin and answer the 2 questions there to see.
I'm trying to copy paste from, oh, okay. Because I copy from my phone to, and okay, I send you via WhatsApp.
Ah, perfect. So there's one question. Where can we find who in what roles is it on wjci.cc? You can, when you go on the website and you find it you have to log in and then under organizations, then you can find it with an organ which you can, yeah, download there. It's a PDF document. This will show it to you for all people. If you want to know the JCI board, then you can just find it on jci.cc and then who we are. And there you find all the HQ members and you find all the JCI board members, so the president and executive vice presidents, etc. Then what decision process is involved in assigning countries to each European vice president? That is, this is when we elect, when the national president, the chief delegates, when they elect the vice president, then it's also shown or looked after from which countries do those vice presidents come from, because as a vice president, you're not assigned to your own country, but you get assigned to other countries. And then it will also be looked for example, which languages do you speak, and what do you have as a background, which can best value the countries that you are assigned to. So that's a decision that more or less the president is doing. But you as national presidents, you can have your preference and ask and yeah, discuss the preference, for example, with others and address the preference. So then maybe you are lucky and get the preferred European vice president. How does it come that not all European countries are members of JCI Europe? That has some historical background. Sometimes because the people there haven't heard from JCI yet. So, I mean, we have to do one country after the other. You can also refer to, for example, the capital world and the communist world. And JCI has started in the capital world, and it's now also growing more and more in the old communist world. in those countries. Yeah, so that's something which has to develop.
Sorry for interrupting. May I clarify, like, because what I meant was also, for example, JCI Portugal. For example, they exist, right? But I see that they're not a member. So how come? Like, why is that? Because they exist.
They do not really exist actually. JCI Portugal shall exist. That's the plan of the people there. You have to fulfill a certain qualification to be a JCI, a fully affiliated JCI national organization. And so you need to address a minimum number of members, for example, and also minimum number of local organizations. And so whenever you don't get these numbers, or when you lose so many members that you don't fulfill the requirements anymore, then you stop to exist in that country as organization of JCI. And then you have to find someone else to continue with the JCI organization and to rebuild or to build it up there. Yeah, and then the last question I saw is about when can JCI nominate and appoint for a position. Actually, that's the national organizations, the national presidents, they have to, you normally get the information like the appointee, the committees that I showed you. So you see the committees, and if you have members that are interested in running for or being appointed for the one or other position, then your national president has to appoint or to mention those members as potential candidates for appointee, and that's actually at the World Congress. So this is the one-year term starting from 1st of January until end of December. Okay, so we have a few answers on which international events have you attended. I see that most of the participants are registered on JCI, which is great news, but some are not. This is the basis to visit international JCI events. And it's great to see the European Presidents Meeting, a World Congress, Edinburgh training, national conventions, World Congress, European Conference last year. That sounds like a great event.
Can you send the link of the JCI international event for the chat?
It's on www.menti.com and to provide the code, and then you can add the information where you have been. And also none. Wow. So it's the first time to attend the online European conference. That's a great first step. It's the first one. Very good. So I hope that you get really motivated to visit international events, if possible this year, if we are able to host them as planned, and otherwise then next year. Good. Thanks for the input. Then we will continue with the next part is about JCI experience. And I put a few points on that. That's the JCI website, the members experience, then what you can use for local national organization activities, and at the end, the JCI partners. Good. So I'm happy that most of you are registered on the JCI.cc website. I hope those that are not yet registered there, because that is your entrance point for any international activity, which we will talk about later. So please register there. And in case that your local president is not registered there, because the local president needs to confirm, needs to activate you that you are a real proper member of JCI. And then there's two steps to do. One, you have to register yourself, and then your local president has to confirm that you're a member. And then the world of JCI is open to you. So please do it. The website offers a
Yes,
lot.
I have a question. Do we
please?
need to activate every year, or once we need to activate the account once, or we need every year activate the process?
You need to do it just once. So when you are an active member, then you are an active member. So that's not changing every year, but your local president and also the national board has to register themselves as the board for the next year. Respectively, the outgoing local president has to enter the next year's local president in JCI .cc, and then he or she can add the board for then the following year. So there's a lot of information that you can find there, and it's important to be registered there. That's what I wanted to say here as the main information. And also, in case you don't like it that much, or there's something, because I sometimes hear that from members in Germany that they have some issues in finding all the information, then be assured that headquarters is working on a new website, and so there can be changes and improvements expected. So I would start with the JCI for the members issue, and the important thing is that we have 4 areas of opportunity. That's what we are working, or that's what we as JCI want to provide you to as the members. So we have the personnel development, we have the business development, we have the community impact, and we have an international relationship and international education as well. I'm just also because of timing and what I want to tell you, I'm not going through all those paths, but you can do a screenshot if you want of it, where JCI can take you. The important thing is that we have those 4 areas of opportunities, those 4 paths that you can use, and it's not focusing on just one, it's the possibility to use all 4 of them. And following, I will show you a few examples what you can do and how you can benefit from that. So one is trainings and academies. So you can develop yourself, for example, by being active in JCI, by taking over roles, taking over duties and responsibilities, running projects. But to get better and better, we also support trainings. So like the Skills Development Committee, they take care that we have proper trainings. So like the Discover, the Presenter training, effective meetings, which you can attend, and you can also improve there, and you can organize them, of course, as well. Then we have championships, and of course also trainings for debating and public speaking. You can have also the chance to take part in debating championship and public speaking during our online European conference, at least to be an audience and to see how that works if you are a first timer for that. But it helps also to speak in front of people and to address the topics that you want to address. A very important academy is the European Academy. This is for the local presidents. I can just recommend going there. Also, in case you want to host a conference, then the COC Academy from Estonia or in Estonia is to recommend. For our PR and media work, it is a really good academy, the International PR and Media Academy in Italy. You can still apply for that, which is in September. And the EDC, the European Development Council, offers growth and development academies to support local organizations, also national organizations, in growth and development activities. So these are important academies. I'm sure there are also lots of national academies or local academies as well that you do, but from the international part, take those chances to attend them. Then going to the other side, going to the international network and the international experience, we have the 4 area conferences. I use here all the abbreviations because we like to use abbreviations and everyone has to know it. As the America Conference, the Asian and African and Middle East Conference, the Asian and Pacific Conference, and the European Conference. So for each area. And then the final is the World Congress at the end of the year. And this is also something to really experience international worldwide. You can attend all the 4 area conferences, and then you get awarded with a Grand Slam at the World Congress and from the president. What I can also recommend is the European know-how transfer in Brussels. Even though not all the European countries are part of the European Union, it's quite often, though, possible to attend also from those countries. And this shows quite well how the European Parliament works, how the European Commission works, and it's also a good part to connect and discuss about what we want from our government, from the European government, what we have as ideas behind, and yeah, because there's a lot of exchange in that as well. So I'll give you an overview of the dates. So you can learn more about the European know-how transfer, which has to be a digital one this year. It pitches and promotions on Saturday. And then you see the conferences for this year, the World Congress in Yokohama in Japan. We hope that it takes place as planned. And then for the next year, we have the America Conference in Panama, then the African and Middle East Conference in Jordan. Special event is the European Conference on a cruise ship, the first time on a cruise ship, and the Asian Pacific Conference in Taiwan. So the international experience is not only on the JCI area conferences or the World Congress. You are also normally invited to join the national conferences, the national conventions of all the JCI European countries. So if you want to get to know members from other national conventions, other national organizations, and just visit those national conventions, it's really good to get a lot of connections, but also to see how they do and what they do and other national organizations. And maybe you get the one or other idea as well to do this in your own local or national organization. So here are a few of who I have dates. Some are not sure if they really can take place because of the Corona situation. So these are slightly gray. But you can always check and look for the other national organizations that you're interested in joining the national conventions. I'm sure you get the information from them where and when it takes place and where you can get the tickets. Then as a member, just to also have this in mind, you will hear about senators. So that's a really big honor to be awarded as a senator. And it's also good to award your members that are really active and really contributing to your organization, that you show and thank your members. So this is the senators. It's a lifetime membership. And this also means something to those people that are awarded as a senator. They have the heart with JCI normally and understood and support the organization for their whole life. And also that you know that the senators are also organized. There is a JCI Senate, that's a worldwide Senate. And in Europe, we have the JCI Europe Senate. It's called the Association of Senators in Europe, abbreviated as ASE, where all the European senators come together and work on concepts, ideas, how they can support the senator organization, but also how they can work together with the active members and how they can support the active members on the European air level, and also those that are organized as national organizations, also on the national organizations to have this exchange. So you can just go on the website, then you get more information about the European Senate, and I think you know more about your national senates anyway. Members that turn 40, they are not members anymore. They don't have the same rights. They can't be voted. They can't elect anymore. But some of them are still feeling like JCI and they still want to contribute to JCI, and so they can register as JCI alumni. They have to do this on the JCI website, so they have to open the link, have to be logged in. It costs $150 membership fee for 5 years, but it also has an advantage for alumni because they get the tickets for area conferences cheaper as the members rate price. So this can also be something you can ask your former members or your members that are over 40 to still be a part of the international organization. And in case you want to contribute financially to the organization, then we have the JCI Foundation, which is also separate.
I need to ask, what's the difference? What's the difference between?
Can you please ask your questions in the chat? That would be very nice, and I will them after this block. Thank you. So the foundation is a separate organization. You can donor money to this foundation. It starts with €100, and when you donor $1,000 minimum, then you get also recognized with the various kinds of foundation pins. So this is one example of those pins, and you get this plate, and you can donor whatever amount you want. There is no limit, and when you contribute to the foundation, it is money that will come back to the JCI organization, for example, to support growth and development activities of national organizations, and to support new trainings, etc. So this is something you can think of if you want to do this yourself. Good. This is for the member experience, what you can attend, where you can go to, what you can become. Now we go to the part of JCI for the local and national organizations. After the partners, I will answer your questions. I hope that's fine for you, because some things refer to each other. And just as a short overview or information to you, there are studies going on, especially also from the United Nations and also other organizations, but we are partnered with United Nations. And those studies, they look in the future, how the world looks like in 20 years and 50 years. And we have here one study from the United Nations, and that was, how is the world in 2030? And when you look in the future and assume how this will look like, then you can go back and think of, how do I have to create the organization? What do I have to do to reach that situation for 2030? Or how can I avoid to have that situation? Or how can I best address the challenges of that time so that it's still the best option at the end, and that I'm not someone who is just reacting and laying back and seeing what others do for me. I'm taking an active part. And this, how to say, the background of the JCI strategic plan that we have. We think of the next 5 years. So we have this study which shows how that we will live in the huge cities, that more and more people have the computers and internet access, etc. So how can we deal with that? And this is JCI strategic plan, which has started last year, the current one, has the objective to accelerate transformation. Because of the digital world, it's getting faster. It's so the challenges are to be able to meet the fast-moving world. and we want to be to have an active role in that. So we have this topic or this objective to accelerate the transformation of the organization, and to also support our activities in that. The strategic plan has 5 how to say that, blocks. So we have one part of the impact, we have one part motivate, one invest, collaborate, and connect. So these are titles, and beyond that we have activities and goals set. And for the strategic plan, we have a strategic position statement as well. So JCI will be the organization that unites all sectors of society to create sustainable impact. And the sectors of society, they are the business part. We all have businesses, or we are employed, so we need to get money, to spend money, etc. So we have to be related to the business part. Then we have the government. The government decides about laws, about all the circumstances and conditions in which we live. So we also have to talk to them and to unite them to see that we have the best possible conditions for the world and how it is changing. And then, of course, the civil society. That's us as civils, as people, how we live together, etc. So we all have to put those 3 sectors together to achieve a proper result for the future, and that's the strategic position statement. So that whenever you do something, have in mind that we want to unite all the sectors. So for the plan of action this year, we have the topic or the goal. It's also used as a hashtag bridge the gap. So each year we are working on achieving the strategic plan at the end. So in 2023, the goal of the strategic plan should be reached. So every year we create a plan of action to achieve that. And this year has bridged the gap. So we are still on the path to achieve it. And we realize that we're not at the state where we want to be. So that's why we have to bridge a gap. And you see that we have here impact, motivate, invest, collaborate, connect. And you see this is the strategic position statement on each part. So we will focus the power of young people to advance sustainable impact. And then we have 3 more or less activities that we want to do, or what we want to achieve in that part. And then in the plan of action, it's too much to show that to you in detail, but that you get an idea of that, and you can always read the plan of action, and you can read the strategic plan, that you see what are areas we are working on, and then you have the actions that are part of the plan of action that should be done to reach those goals for this year. And here is an overview of materials and also where you can find it, the strategic plan and also plan of action. There is this account still where you can find information of the strategic plan and the plan of action. You can also always watch the videos that are published on the JCI World Headquarters YouTube account and Vimeo account. So here you can get definitely more information about all that and the documents themselves. And just very shortly, there is the Active Citizen Framework, which has been created from JCI. With that, we want to provide you a project management tool, actually, in how to do a project, how to do it the best way, what steps you need to have, and what you should do. Also, there is another session in which you can really go deeply into that, but that you have heard of it and know what we're talking about when we talk about the Active Citizen Framework. I'm almost at the end, so I will of this session. So I will then put on your questions. When you want to do the international part in your organization, so you have learned about the plan of action. So you can also do the similar things, or you can put some of those activities into your local activity. And you see the strategic plan, so you can also follow the strategic plan and put them down as pieces for your local organization or for the national organization. And then you have international activities, the alignment with that, with JCI in the world. And you can also have international activities in your local chapter for your members or done by your members. That's what the so-called JCI twinnings. So you have a cross-border partnership normally between 2 or more chapters. It can also be on a national organization level, or if you have regions or states, and it can also be on that level. And the idea is to exchange experience, for example, or to do projects together, to get to know each other better. So like a cultural exchange, or if even to establish business contacts. That can also be one of the reasons why you do a twinning partnership. And it's very often that one of the twinning partners invites the other one to come over to the local organization, to the city, and then you organize a program with whatever objective you have. So you have more cultural visits, or you have more company visits, business-related things, etc. So that's up to you. And there are also lots of information and frameworks how to set up a twinning and how to live a twinning. But it's a very good thing for international exchange in your local organization, or also in your national organization, of course. And yeah, we also like to celebrate what we have done, because there are lots of fantastic things going on, and we want to showcase them. That's one thing, so that others can learn from the great projects that you're doing. But we also want to recognize them and award the fantastic projects that you do. So there are JCI awards for the projects, for the local organizations. I'm using here the other word, but it's local organizations and members. So for outstanding projects, outstanding local organizations, outstanding members, you can get a prize, an award. And this will be done at the European Conference and also at the World Congress. So on Saturday, we have it during our online conference, and we will award the outstanding projects in about 13 categories. And you also see the nominees, so the best 3 projects as well. So it's really, I really recommend you to take part at the award ceremony and see what kinds of projects are done and what you maybe can do as well. And then there are 2 other awards as well. One is for the 10 outstanding young persons. This is not related to JCI members, or it doesn't mean to be a JCI member, but young people that are outstanding in whatever they do, and you know them, and as a member of JCI, and you want to recognize them, then you can nominate them for this 10 Outstanding Young Persons Award, and then they will get this recognition at the World Congress. So this is really a worldwide award, how JCI is doing it. And for the business part, so you remember the 4 areas of opportunities. So it's one of the personal development. You have the business part, the community part, and the international part. And for the business part, we also like to award creative young entrepreneurs with an award. This is in preparation. It's not yet applicable, but in preparation. So also for this path, an area of opportunity to showcase that we're working on that and want to recognize young entrepreneurs that are successful in this. And the last part of our section, JCI experience, is the partner part. So we have at the moment 4 partners we are working with. So one is IESEC, the International Student Organization. Then there is the partner International Chamber of Commerce, the United Nations, of course. They are also such, or we are such a specific partner that we are able to have the United Nations logo in our JCI logo. And the World Business Angel Forum is also a partner we are working with. The kind of partnership, yeah, it's on a worldwide level, but almost all of them, ISIC, International Chamber of Commerce, or also the United Nations, have local or national activities. So you can also use this worldwide partnership as a partnership for your national organization or even in your local organization, because it's the framework, and so you can profit from this partnership on the worldwide level. And for these partners, the partnership committee is responsible to support the World HQ to do a great partnership and to work together. So this was a lot of information, and I've seen that there are a lot of questions as well. So I will stop here. I hope you can still follow and think of what I'm talking about. But now I will go over your questions in case I find the chat again.
Manuela, I sent you some questions from the chat.
Great. Okay, the alumni question. Thanks, Kevin. You have answered this already. Yeah, I can make you information available, of course. That's the thing, or the idea behind that course, to provide you with as much information about JCI as possible. And 1.5 hours is really a short time. We can go deeply in lots of things, in lots of topics, but at least to provide you an overview, and then we can discuss further if you want, or if you have other more questions, then we can always support and answer them. If you want, you can also read them, Claudia, if that helps. I'm sorry for this technical issue that I don't see the chat.
No,
when I...
don't worry. No, many thanks for the session, and others participants ask for the presentation. So it's the same question, but from
okay. So no detailed question about anything that I just presented.
No, I think your presentation was very clear, very well structured. I'm in JCI from 2010, so I'm still learning in JCI. It's like a life long learning process. So every moment you have something to learn in JCI. So
that's true.
It was useful also for me. So I'm sure was useful for also for the participants.
Okay. Yeah. So
another question in the chat before. The people want to know more about your JCI experience.
My JCI experience. I have started as a local member in Munich, in Germany. And first I was only focused on the local activities, because that was what I knew. But I had the good luck that we hosted the national convention just 1 year after I joined, and so we had international participants, and we had, of course, from the whole national organization participants, and I saw the program and what's going on there, and that really opened me. Okay, there's much more than just a local organization. And so I decided to visit also the European conference, So that was more or less the beginning, and it really affected me when being there, talking to people from all over Europe and even from other areas of the world, and to see what we are doing, what everyone is doing, and how to contribute. And so I wanted to contribute to that as well. So that's why I started to run for various positions and to do a lot of, especially in the international part, to connect my state organization, my local organization, with other local organizations, with other state organizations, and also on the national level, that we work together and that we have an idea of what we want to achieve with JCI, and that we have, of course, also fun together. But I think it really opens the mind when you visit international events, and when you attend the trainings. I was at the European Academy as well, which was really an eye-opener for lots of leadership issues that you also have in your normal life, as when you're a team lead, or if you're running your business and have your employees. So I have really great experience with JCI, and I can just recommend to you to get your own experience and to visit and attend the conferences, and take the chance for training partnerships, etc., as well, to also have it in your local organizations if you have members that are not interested in traveling around the world, for example, but to still get them in contact with our international organization. Good. Then I
just sent you another questions from the participants.
okay, great. Oh, if the Senator Association okay with the alumni project? Yeah, they are not in a competing situation. A senator is someone who is awarded and therefore awarded as a senator. So this is nothing you can decide to be. This is what others decide, that you have earned to be a senator and to be a lifetime member. To be a JCI alumni, this is something you can choose when you turn 40, that you still want to be part of the organization and that you want to contribute and to visit international events. So this is, in that sense, two completely different backgrounds of senators and alumni. Therefore, there is no competition, or this question is not really an essential one. Are there any specifications to be recognized as alumni like senators? Not really. I mean, you must have been a member in JCI, and then you can be an alumni. You cannot join JCI over 40 and be an alumni. And for senators, you have restrictions or specifications, so not everyone can be a senator. There are some in the JCI constitution, but as a national organization, you can further limit those specifications and who are the people that are able to be honored as a senator. So that depends on top on your national organization. That's why I won't go into that details. Oh, that's fantastic. There's someone who wants to contribute articles about events. I'm happy if, for example, you send them to me if they are about European events, or if they are in English and have information which is interesting for people from other national organizations from Europe, then you can send it to me. I will show you my contact details at the end of the presentation. So that's good news. So we have some more questions. I see that you are writing, Claudia, but otherwise, I just go over the campaigns, and then I can see if there are still questions.
From JCI Syria, I will. The question is, I want to ask whether two JCI chapters can make twinning from different countries. Are they need any coordinate with their national chapters or no?
Can you please repeat the question? A local organization from another area wants to twin with...
So, if two JCI chapters can make twinning from different countries, are they need any coordinate with their national chapters or not?
Let's say it this way. When you want to start a partnership, a twinning partnership, then you probably look as a local organization what is an appropriate partner, for example, because there are already partnerships on the city level or so, which you can use. So you can, when you have a specific other local chapter in mind, then you can directly contact this local chapter and see if they are interested at all in a twinning partnership. If that's the case, that you have two twinning partners that want to come together, then you should also involve your national organization, at least for the twinning partnership ceremony, for example. But also it can be helpful to have the national organization involved in this as a supporter for your twinning partnership. So this is definitely always good to inform or involve your national organization, the national board, in your twinning activities.
Okay, I think this was the last question.
Okay, good. Then for the last 10 minutes, we will go over the JCI campaigns that are running this year. In Europe, we have the campaign Rebuild, Connect and Lead. And on general level, on the worldwide level, also as part of the partnership with the United Nations, we still have the Sustainable Development Goals. And I know that we have one in preparation from the World Headquarters because of the situation with the COVID-19. So the challenges have changed a little bit, and therefore we want to address with a suitable campaign also those challenges and to find the proper way to support, for example, small businesses. So be curious about what will come soon. I will shortly show you the Rebuild, Connect and Lead campaign. I'm happy that Nicole from Malta, who is also part here, she has been in the task force to create this campaign this year. It's the follow-up campaign to the Step Up for Europe campaign, which we had last year, to strengthen JCI Europe and the European countries. And also because of the Corona situation, we want to, in Europe, set the focus a bit different. So lots of organizations, etc., like it's very great to see this here. But to rebuild with Corona situation, COVID situation, we have to rebuild the economy. It can also be that the community, local leaders, businesses, infrastructure, etc., have to be rebuilt. And you want to focus on one to rebuild. For example, you want to focus on rebuild your small businesses and your local organization in your city. So you focus with activities on to rebuild it. Then we also have the issue with connecting. We need partners. To do something alone is almost not that successful than to do it together in a group, together with partners. So we are connecting. That's the next thing, the next topic you should do, to connect. Also, again, depending on who you're focusing for the rebuild activities, you need to have the right partners to connect with the right people. So it's then to connect, for example, with members, with politicians, with the community group. So it's a bit broad to set the goals, but or not the goals, the focus group. The goals are that we want to be built to connect and to lead this change and to lead through the challenging times. So you also see for the leadership the various parts where you can take on the leadership in your country, in your city. So this is the campaign that we just decided to run this year at the conference assembly that we had end of May. And so now it's on the national organizations and the local organizations, on you to also set up this campaign in your local organizations and your national organizations to make it happen. And then with the other part, with the United Nations campaign about the Sustainable Development Goals, we're doing a lot of projects and also referring a bit back to the active citizen framework, where it said we should do an analysis. What are the needs of the community, the needs of our businesses? It's to do kind of a research of an analysis, what we should do, what kind of projects we should do, what do we want to achieve. And lots of projects that we're doing, they actually are supporting one of those goals or even more of those goals. And very often we just don't have them in mind. Also the otherwise, you can say, I want to focus this year on one of those goals or two of those goals. And all the projects that we are doing in that year, we are focusing on this goal. So last year, for example, especially on the aspect that was really great done, was the goal number 5, the gender equality, a big topic. So there were lots of trainings and workshops going on how can we achieve gender equality? What do we have to do from the male perspective, from the female perspective, to have an equality of both genders? And where do we have issues? Where do we have gaps? Where do we have maybe already equality? So this is something you can also do on your local level and on your national organization, to focus on specific of those sustainable development goals, or to think of which sustainable development goals you're already running a project addressing. So you can put this as a kind of marketing stamp on it and say, look, this project, we're actually working on achieving goal number 3, good health and well-being. And you can see this, and it has sometimes even more impact to show this and to be aware of this. So this is also a great campaign that we are doing in JCI on a worldwide level this year. Good. For the other one, I cannot say that much yet. Only be curious about what will be. So with the new campaign, with the new about the COVID-19 situation. Yeah, I don't know if you have other campaigns in mind that you have learned from the past or so, that had been run on the worldwide level, like Peace is Possible, but they are not supported on the worldwide level anymore. So these are not campaigns that we are running this year. Good. So I'm done so far with giving you an overview of the JCI organization, and I hope you could get a lot of input from what you expected, what you needed. I'm happy to get your feedback. We will send you a feedback survey afterwards, and you can always send an email to me on my email address, and I'll do my best to answer as much I can answer. So if there are any more questions, then I'm happy to answer them right now. We have 5 minutes left.
No more.
open for questions for now.
Okay, good. Then it seems that I have just bombed you with too much information. it's yeah. But if you have any questions afterwards, I'm happy to answer. So just send them to me, and I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you very much, Manuela, for sharing with us. And thank you for being part of this training. And of course, I hope to see you in the other session during this week. And as Manuela mentioned before, we will send a feedback form because we really want to improve our activity in JCI. So your feedback will be really appreciated. Okay. So if you don't have any other questions, we will thank you again and see you this week, maybe during the other sessions. The COC team prepared for us a lot of interesting activities. So we really have a very busy week, a very useful week. It's very good that they find a way to organize this European conference even offline, but it's good to be in touch, not to lose 1 year. So many thanks, Manuela, again, and you for your participation and your involvement.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manuela.
And have a great evening.
You too. Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bonsoir.